August 12th, 1985. The busiest travel night of the Japanese year. 524 people board a Boeing 747 for a 35-minute hop, Tokyo to Osaka. 12 minutes after takeoff, a sound like a bomb goes off behind the last row of seats. This photograph, taken from the ground minutes later, shows why 520 of those people will not survive the next half hour. The tail of the airplane is missing. The crew will fight for 32 minutes with no flight controls at all. 4 people will live, every one of them found the next morning. And the mistake that killed 520 wasn't made that night. It was made 7 years earlier by the company that built the plane. This is the full story of Japan Airlines Flight 123. Tokyo, Haneda, 6 in the evening. It's Obon, the week all of Japan travels home to family. Flight 123 is the commuter run, a jumbo jet built specially for hops this short. Boeing called it the 747SR, short range. Same giant airframe, flown like a city bus. On board, teachers, salesmen, whole families with children. And one passenger Americans knew without knowing his name. Q Sakamoto's Sukiyaki is still the only Japanese-language song ever to hit #1 on the American charts. He's in seat 43G, going home like everyone else. But this particular airplane, registration JA8119, is carrying something no passenger can see. To find it, we have to rewind 7 years. June 2nd, 1978, Osaka. This same aircraft comes into land too nose-high and slams its tail into the runway. The damage reaches the aft pressure bulkhead, the sealed dome at the back of the cabin that holds in the air you breathe at altitude. Japan Airlines calls in the manufacturer itself. Boeing flies its own repair team across the Pacific. Here is what the repair manual demanded. 1 splice plate, bridging the damaged joint, carried by 2 rows of rivets. Here is what Boeing's team actually installed. A plate cut in 2, leaving 1 row of rivets to carry everything. On paper, the repair looked perfect. Inside the joint, its strength had quietly dropped to 70%. No inspection would ever see it. And every single flight after that day pulled on that 1 row of rivets. August 12th, 1985. 6:12 p.m. Flight 123 lifts off from Haneda's runway 15 left, 12 minutes late. On the flight deck, Captain Masami Takahama, 12,000 hours, tonight supervising from the right seat. First Officer Yutaka Sasaki, flying from the left, is captain's check ride. Flight engineer Hiroshi Fukuda behind them. 3 of the most experienced men Japan Airlines has. 6:24 and 35 seconds. 23,900 feet, still climbing. The rivet row lets go. The bulkhead tears open. Cabin air at 8 times the outside pressure floods into the tail like a burst dam and blows the top of it clean off the airplane. Most of the vertical fin gone. The lines carrying all 4 hydraulic systems severed. In the cabin, fog, screaming wind, oxygen masks. In the cockpit, a single call. Hydro pressure, all loss. Understand what all loss means on the 747. No ailerons, no elevators, no rudder. Every control surface on the airplane is now a dead weight bolted to the wings and tail. The only thing the crew can still command is engine thrust. 2 throttles to fly 350 tons. The aircraft begins to porpoise, a cycle pilots call the phugoid. Nose up, losing speed, falling. Nose down, gaining speed, climbing. 2,000 feet up, 2,000 feet down, every 90 seconds. The crew fights it with throttle alone. Power on the climbs, power off the dives. In later simulator sessions, crews who knew exactly what was coming couldn't keep this airplane in the air as long as these three men did. Behind them, 509 passengers ride the swells. The cabin crew demonstrates brace positions between announcements, and in the seats, people begin to write. Notes on memo pads, on sick bags, to wives, to children. One father filled 7 pages. His last line was to his son, "Tsuyoshi, I'm counting on you." Notes written to be found. Tokyo Control clears every runway they have. The American airbase at Yokota, dead ahead, radios that its runway is open. For one moment, the airplane, against every physical expectation, is pointed at salvation. Then the Fugoid takes it again, west, into the mountains. 6:56 p.m., 41 minutes after takeoff. The mountains of Gunma rise into the flight path. The crew pushes everything forward. The right wing clips a ridge. What happened on that mountain over the next 14 hours is the part of this story Japan still argues about. 20 minutes after impact, in the last usable daylight, an American Air Force C-130 out of Yokota finds the crash site. The crew radios the coordinates and stays overhead, directing a US rescue helicopter toward the ridge. According to the later account of one American airman, a medic was preparing to go down on the winch when they were ordered to stand down. Japanese forces would handle the mountain. A Japanese military helicopter overflies the site in darkness, sees the fires, and reports no sign of survivors. The ground teams wait for morning. Yumi Ochiai, an off-duty flight attendant in row 56, is alive in the wreckage. Years later, she described that night. She could hear helicopter rotors somewhere above her in the dark. And around her on the mountainside, she could hear voices, other survivors, calling out. As the night went on, the voices went quiet, one by one. Our rescuers reach the wreckage 14 hours after impact. They expect no one. They find 4, all of them women, all seated in the last 6 rows. Yumi Ochiai, Hiroko Yoshizaki and her 8-year-old daughter, and 12-year-old Keiko Kawakami, lifted out of a tree. The medical examinations concluded that some of the dead had survived the impact by hours. The tail told the truth. Pieces of the vertical fin were pulled out of Sagami Bay. The bulkhead itself came down the mountain in sections. And on the torn metal, investigators found what fatigue always leaves behind. Beach marks. Growth rings of a crack that had been spreading for 7 years. The cracks traced back to a single line of rivets, exactly where Boeing's repair team had cut the splice plate in 1978. 3 weeks after the crash, Boeing said it plainly. The repair did not conform to their own standards. The words were careful. The meaning wasn't. 520 people. 1 row of rivets. Japan Airlines president resigns. Compensation is paid, and the rules change for everyone. Repaired pressure structures now get tracked and torn open for inspection on schedule, worldwide. The failed bulkhead itself was placed in a JAL training center in Tokyo, where every new employee stands in front of it. It has one job now: to make sure no one ever treats a repair as finished just because it looks finished. Every August 12th, families climb Osutaka Ridge. The trail is steep. The youngest mourners are grandchildren now. At the top, there's a monument, and around it, 520 small markers on the mountainside, each one placed where someone was found. Q Sakamoto's marker is among them. The song America knew him by has a Japanese title, Ue o muite aruko. It means, I look up as I walk. So here is the question this story leaves behind. It's 8 p.m. The site is located. The mountain is dangerous in the dark. A night insertion could cost rescuers their lives. You're in command. Do you send the helicopters? Tell me your call in the comments, and whether you'd have wanted to know about the repair before you boarded. If you want more true stories where the machine is the mystery, subscribe. 520 people met the mountain. 4 came home. The bulkhead is still in Tokyo, making sure nobody forgets